Mais le Cameroun, c'est également un pays qui a doté le monde de talents extraordinaires, des fils et filles qui, bien que loin du pays, font la fierté de la terre de leurs ancêtres.
Good evening, dear viewers, and welcome to the first edition of our 6 p.m. news on Camdis Television. We begin right away with our major stories. Youths in the Leke Division, Central Region of Cameroon, came out in the north. Sunday, October 30, 2022, to send out a message of support to His Excellency President Paul Biya, calling on him to be their candidates in the next elections in 2025 and to celebrate his 40 years as head of the Supreme Magistracy. Saving money in banks on Jangi houses is a matter of choice, as many have reasons. We will be discussing and getting to know the different ways of saving money that is most preferred by Cameroonians with Afuji's Lane, as she gets different opinions from population on the streets of Yaoundé. Youth have been schooled on entrepreneurship and the importance of undergoing professional training in boosting the economy, efforts in achieving the National Development Strategy by 2030. Those were headlines, developments in a moment. Thanks once more for joining us, dear viewers. We'll begin right away where the youth in Leke division, that is in the central region of Cameroon, came out in their numbers yesterday, Sunday, 30th of October 2022, to raise their voices and call on His Excellency President Paul Biya to be their candidates in the next presidential elections come 2025. They were also gathered in prelude to the 40th anniversary of His Excellency as President Paul Biya's ascension to power. Let's now listen to Bertrand Tita as his report in here the way that the ceremony was presided by the Minister of State Property, Surveys and Land Tenure, Henry Eyebe Ayisi. Let's listen.
Placed under the patronage of Minister Eyebe Ayisi of State Property, Surveys and Land Tenure, Youth and Civic Education, and that of Women Empowerment and the Family, the Republican youth of Leke Division of the Central Region poured out their sincere gratitude to the head of state, Paul Biya, for his numerous success and special love for the division.
Thank you to our father, our grandfather, the President Paul Biya, to all the work that he has doing to our country. We have a lot of opportunity to develop our ideas, our projects, and our project to the emergency of our country. So I say thank you to our father.
Celebrating the Ruby Jubilee of His Excellency Paul Biya at the helm of the Supreme Magistracy of Cameroon, the occasion pulled a good number of government ministers, administrative, traditional and religious authorities, elites of the region, and a handful of youth drawn not only from the ruling CPDM party. The joy is unmeasurable.
I assure you that I'm particularly delighted with those who have shared the responsibility to co-share this ceremony that had been initiated by the youth. Those from the Leke Division and those that have been invited all over the country. We are delighted to have assured that we do accompany this young to celebrate their father, our president, our common president. 1 week before, that is their initiative.
The over 5 hours event saw the various speakers outlining Paul Biya's success and special love for young people. The youth were equally called to keep on rallying behind President Paul Biya in order to benefit from his goodwill.
Strongly, they stand firm behind the president, and their commitment is that they will go with him till to the end, particularly through the next encounters, so that he could continue this very, very wonderful job he has shot from 40 years till now. And
a special gift from the Lekki youth to President Paul Biya, the parade with messages of hope and thank you, the cultural manifestation spiced the event at the council esplanade of Monatele. A motion of support from the young people of the Lekki division for Paul Biya to stand as their presidential candidate for the 2025 presidential election was equally echoed.
The section president of CPDM Benue East, Elhaj Yauba Iyeri, met with militants of the ruling CPDM party that was yesterday, October 30th, 2022, to assess preparations ahead of the 30th edition to celebrate His Excellency Paul Biya's ascension to power. Let's now move over to meet Afujis Lane, who is standing with this report.
Those responsible have responded to our call and have reacted promptly in order to ensure that the celebrations go on well.
The prompt response of militants of the Cameroon People's Democratic Party in Benue East section in the North region has characterized the preparatory meeting towards the celebration of the 40th anniversary of the accession to Supreme Magistracy of His Excellency President Paul Biya.
You know that the 40th anniversary is not the 4th nor the 40th or the 24th. It's 40 years of great joy and God's blessings.
As the militants prepared towards this grandiose event, the president of this section has reminded them of the high stakes of the ceremony as they continually pledge their allegiance to the ruling party.
The people of Benue have made their choice, for we aren't doing a campaign. We know that the CPDM is the party we love and it's our choice, which we will maintain till the end.
As the countdown to the celebrations come November 6, 2022 begins, final preparations are being made nationwide to accord the event its flamboyance and splendor.
The use of agricultural products like manure is something that most agricultural promoters are looking into to see how to boost a production of agricultural products in the country. There was a meeting today presided by the Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Gabriel Bairobe. Let's now listen to him in the following excerpt.
The challenge today is to ensure the availability of affordable, qualitative and quantitative biofertilizer, particularly stocks of fertilizer or mineral and biofertilizer to agro-industries and the Ministry of Agriculture or the project and program of the ministry via a platform. I wish to commend the entire organizing committee of this workshop, which will undoubtedly enable all the stakeholders present here to reap the benefits of the fertilizer platform and to learn about the AgriPoint services concepts.
Some young entrepreneurs coming from different 8 regions in Cameroon met today during the National Assembly to discuss on the importance of undergoing professional training in mastering the different techniques that are going to help to boost agricultural production in the country. A case study is in the northwest region of the country where, despite the socio-political crisis, so many schools training young entrepreneurs are performing very well, and the future looks very promising. Let's listen in this report. The agricultural sector in Cameroon is one which contributes to boosting the economy towards the National Development Strategy from 2020 to 2030. To achieve this, 17 promoter organizations drawn from 8 regions in Cameroon meet for their national meeting of the Prosepa platforms, which is to deal with the promotion of family farm schools and agricultural training projects, October 30, 2022 in Yaoundé.
We are focusing or capitalizing on the lessons learned, especially as concerns public examinations. What are the difficulties which most of our students and teachers encounter, and how can we surmount those difficulties, and equally going back through the successes which we have had so far in these examinations, what could still be done so that our students really excel in the education which we offer to them.
The 5 family farm schools relocated due to crisis in the northwest region are recording outstanding results.
Family farm school Mbot and Garom, they relocated to Kambe, which is a bit peaceful, and despite the challenges, our students are really doing very well, and they are for the past 2 years they have recorded a 100% pass in their public examinations.
The family farm, well equipped, is open to the general public.
We equip them with agricultural projects, poultry, pilgrim, fishing, beekeeping, and most of these projects, they help them when they complete from our institutions to be self-employed, and they are qualified because so with the certificates which they get, they can further their studies elsewhere. They equally have that pride of place to equally employ others to come and work with them.
The training continues, mostly comprised of young entrepreneurs with one dream, achieving their dreams in many domains of life with the help of the government. Saving money in banks or in Jangi houses, it is a question that Afu Gislaine and Frank Ebenezer tried to find out from some Yaoundé city dwellers who are carrying out some day-to-day activities. This has become a phenomenon that becomes a problem, as many think it is much better to save money in banks, whereas others think it is much better in Jangi houses. Harry Potter.
Keeping their money either in banks, microfinance institutions, or local Jangi houses is an act which has characterized the day-to-day life of most inhabitants, especially the working class. Carried out as a means to enable them improve on their living standards or execute projects, most individuals are faced with the choice of how to save their money.
My choice is the bank. For that, the first option I'll always go for.
I prefer the local Jangi house depending on the amount which can be saved.
Personally, I'm not a fan to having a bank account because I have had a lot of negative experiences with the bank. So I prefer the local Jangi like our parents before, because it's credible and you know the people whom you work with.
Be it for security reasons or on familiarity basis, the choice of where to save differs.
In terms of security, the bank is most preferable because it has the best security measures, and you are assured that whenever you want your money, you can have it without difficulties.
I choose the local Jangi houses because you can really save your money without any problem.
As Cameroon joins the globe over to celebrate the World Savings Day this October 31st, 2022, under the theme Savings Can Make a Difference, emphasis is on to raise awareness about how savings play a key role in building financial resilience and being prepared to face difficult times in the future. End of the
We now take you out of the country, where the president of Somalia has issued a plea seeking for international assistance to help victims of car bombings over the weekend. It has been reported that about 100 people lost their lives and dozens seriously injured and receiving treatment in the hospital. We have these and other stories with Gerardine Nasse.
Following the devastating car bombings that occurred in Somalia over the weekend, which claimed the lives of 100 people, the country's president has issued an urgent plea for international help for wounded victims. The government put out an appeal for blood donation with dozens of people gathered outside hospitals in the capital Mogadishu. The White House on Sunday also condemned the tragic terrorist attack in Mogadishu and in particular its heinous targeting of the Somali Ministry of Education. 3 members of the Central African Armed Group 3R, that is Return, Reclamation and Rehabilitation, have been sentenced to prison this Monday. The sentences range from 20 years to life for crimes against humanity in a first verdict by the Special Criminal Court. They were also accused of the May 21, 2029 massacre of 46 civilians in villages in the northwest of the country and were found guilty of, among other things, murder, inhuman act, humiliation and degrading treatment. The Central African Republic, the second least developed country in the world according to the UN, has been the scene of a civil war since 2013. The civil war continues today between armed rebel groups, sometimes from the Seleka and Anti-Balaka, and the army of President Faustin Archange Touadéra, backed by hundreds of Russian paramilitaries. Discussions between Ethiopia's federal government and representatives of Tigray fighters were allegedly extended to take place this Monday in South Africa. The negotiations began on October 25th and were due to end on Sunday, October 30th. It is seen to be the first public dialogue between the warring sides since the conflict erupted in November 2020. Tigrayan rebels and the federal army, backed by forces from neighboring Ethiopian regions and the army of Eritrea, which borders Tigray. No information has been released about the content of the talks held inside the Department of International Relations and Cooperation in Pretoria.
That report out of the country brings us to the end of our major stories right now. The youth of Ileke, that is in the central region of Cameroon, came out in their numbers to celebrate the 40 years of His Excellency Paul Biya's ascension to power. It was also an opportunity for the youth to call on the president to be the next candidate during the 2025 presidential elections. Saving money in banks or in local Njangi houses was the questions that a reporter Afu Gislaine put forward to Yaoundé city dwellers. Most of them said it is most preferable to save money in banks, whereas others said it is preferable to save money in local Njangi houses. The choices was obvious. And some youth joined, drawn from 8 regions of Cameroon, took part in their National Assembly meeting today to discuss on the different measures to see how to put forth to boost agricultural production in the country, and also made it very clear that it is important to undergo professional trainings to see how to improve and also contribute to the national development strategy by 2030. Thanks for watching. God willing, tomorrow is another day. Goodbye. Stay in the company of interesting programs on Camdis Television.
En Afrique, Dieu a créé un pays exceptionnel, le Cameroun. Une Afrique en miniature en raison de ses multiples ressources naturelles. Mais le Cameroun, c'est également un pays qui a doté le monde de talents extraordinaires, des fils et filles qui, bien que loin du pays, font la fierté de la terre de leurs ancêtres. Ici ou ailleurs, dans les gènes de chaque Camerounais réside une détermination à réussir, une volonté inébranlable